Welcome back to the Scale Success Reptile Podcast, everybody. Thank you for joining in on this tonight, this Tuesday. Um, we were having a little technical issues, been crazy with internet around here lately. So hopefully we got to figure it out. And we guys could give you a good show. Um, just a quick shout out to the guest tonight, mutant geckos, mutant reptiles, mutant serpents. A lot of you guys might know him from mutant geckos from back in the day. I sometimes still say mutant geckos because that's how I found them, especially on social media. Those mutant geckos. But he's now dived into a lot of different other species and snakes and um, still doing some geckos. So we're gonna pick his brain about the diverse collection he has. But before we do that, give you guys a quick update of what's going on in our world. So, breeding 2024 breeding season has started. We've had we have 12 females we're pairing up this year. We just dropped a video this Sunday showing you guys what pairings we have. So go check that out after the live or tomorrow. And also now we are gonna offer a YouTube membership. If you guys want to join in, become members of Clover's Reptile YouTube channel. We're gonna offer some really cool perks, and then still figuring out a couple of details. It's active right now, but by the end of this week, I'll have everything figured out exactly on what level each what perk you'll get at each level, and it'll just be helping us continue the podcast, continue the YouTube, and getting better at everything that we do here. So if you guys want to support, make sure you guys join the membership, and also if you guys want to support myself and Mutant Reptiles, you can drop a super chat tonight and show us your support. What else is going on with us? We had Reptilian Nation 2 weeks ago. Really good to see everybody out there, the local South Florida people. Met a lot of new reptile keepers. We had a lot of people buy their first hognose from us and their first reptile. So that was really cool. I always enjoy being able to provide them with their first reptile. And so shout out to Reptilian Nation for put that on. It's a really good show. What else we got? Trying to think. Like I said, breeding season. We've already had a lot of locks, really cool stuff. We're gonna make some triple heads this year, and hopefully, keeping our fingers crossed that everything works out with the pairings. And let's say what's up to a couple people that are here. So, Ro, what's going on, homie? Thanks for joining in. Joey Meteoric Serpents, thanks for joining in. Dustin, what's going on? Thanks for joining in. Love and V Dubs, thanks for joining in again. Eric from Eric's More Factory, what's going on, bud? Thanks for joining in. Jesse Armand, thanks for joining in. Then we have Mutant Geckos, Noble Family Fauna. Thank you for joining in. I haven't seen you here before, so if you're new to the channel, please make sure you guys subscribe, like, hit the notification button, and comment down below. Like I said, if you guys are enjoying the podcast tonight, make sure to drop a super chat, help us support the channel, and help us keep doing this, what we're doing, and bringing you guys great content, great guests to your living rooms. And we got Villarino, V Unit in the house. Another great thing about our guest tonight, it's another South Florida keeper and breeder that, South Florida, it's crazy to think about within within like a 20-mile radius. There's some really, really heavy hitters in this area. And I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of them, make connections, and build up friendships and stuff like that. And I'm gonna bring you guys this year a lot of those guys onto the channel, and girls, not just guys, but guys and girls. Bring you guys them to the channel so you guys can benefit from their knowledge and their experience they have in the reptile world. And before we bring on the guest, I'm gonna do a quick sponsor and partnership video. You guys take a quick look. Sea Serpent Rack and Incubators is the official sponsorship of Clover's Reptile and Scale Success Reptile podcast. If you're looking for a PVC rack or incubator, make sure to check them out. We've been using their racks for the past 2 years, and it's a great product, and they have great customer service. Now let's mention our partnerships. Reptilinks has partnered up with Clover's Reptiles and Scale Success Reptile podcast, If you want to feed a diverse diet to your reptiles, make sure to check them out and use Clover to get $5 off your next order. If you want to take your husbandry and record keeping to the next level, make sure to take advantage of the free 30-day trial with our link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen. Husbandry Pro has helped us keeping track of our breeding plans, our hatchlings, and overall just keeping us organized with all of our reptiles. Make sure to use shipyourreptiles.com to receive or ship your reptiles and use Clover's 15 to save $15 off any one shipment. All right, guys. Like I said, here's a shout out to our sponsorships, our partnerships that we've created over the years. We have a couple more people jump in. Freddie, all the way from Mexico, thanks for joining in. Darian Jimenez, thanks for joining in. And before I bring on the guests, guys, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So now let's get the show on the road and let's bring our guest on. What's up? What's up? Mutant geckos, mutant reptiles.
What's up, man? What's up, man? Got to
Kevin,
give a shout out to Noble Family Fauna. He started with the geckos with me, man. So he's moved up. He's moved on a little bit too. So he changed it to Fauna. So I have the only name change here.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's great about the evolution, right? Like keeping evolving, keeping growing the collection and getting into new things. You know, I think that's one of the coolest things about the reptile world, where like one species might get you into it and then your mind just grows wild, right? With what you want to keep and stuff like that.
Yeah, I always kind of been a Noah's Ark keeper coming up in the game. When I was a young kid, we didn't really breed. So when I got back in 2016, I kind of got into the geckos when I was younger. And I went to Daytona and I just kept geckos, and I got into all kind of geckos and that's just what kind of went on, and then I had my cycler and I had a tortoise the whole time, like from 2004, sulcata. So I've always been into other reptiles. It's just, I went over a buddy of mine's house, John from Palm Beach Bluebirds, and he kind of gave me the blue pill, opened my eyes to snakes, man. And I fell in love with the Phrynonax pacillinotus, which is the neotropical bird eater from Costa Rica. And then it was over from there. And I kind of like never really looked back. And then, I know Jamie, a friend of mine, Jamie, J&C Hogs, and I kind of seen him at Snakes on Sunset, and we got to talking, and we went to high school together, but didn't know each other. And I went to his house and held a hog for the first time, and I think I left with like 6. And Jamie takes care of me. He's a cool guy, and so from there on out, like I just pretty much decided that hogs were going to be my morph game, and and I kind of really still breed a couple projects of leopard geckos, mainly wild types and a few other things that I do morph wise, but the gecko's kind of gone to the side. Actually, I hatched out an Afghanicus gecko like 2 days ago. First gecko in like maybe 2.5 years. And so it was kind of cool, man. I love Afghanicus. They're real cool geckos.
Yeah. I was going to say that because you have, talking about that, you have locality geckos as well, right?
Yeah, they're actually species in the genus. So there's like 5 or 6 different species in the genus. They all kind of look like leopard geckos with just like a twist. Like you have your, Eublepharis, Fuscus, and Wikii, and you have the Iranian gecko, which is, and then, you got some subspecies like Afghanicus. You got Turkmenicus, which is another species. And there's probably a couple, there's a new one that came out that's escaping my mind. It's in that corner right there. can't see that good, but it's there.
Sometimes it's hard to keep up, especially when they start recategorizing like certain subspecies and species. Being keeping up with the names, it's a lot. Are you a pretty good at scientific names?
I am. I'm over the years. I've kind of become pretty good at scientific names.
Yeah,
I
I'm
use a
still
lot of
figuring
them.
that out.
I use a lot of them, and over the time, sometimes I get them. I get them wrong all the time, though. I'm corrected a lot, but I don't think anybody really knows. I mean, you
Yeah,
just got to get kind of close, and then
yeah.
they know what you're talking about. But yeah, I've
Unless you're
learned a
probably
lot
like,
over the years.
a professional herpetologist that does it, and or working on certain species and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't even think they know 100%.
And that's what I've told like a lot of people where like with the reptile world, it's still a very young industry, it's still a very young hobby and stuff like that, where a lot of the breeders, we're trying to figure stuff out on the go, right? And we're sharing information with each other and keepers and stuff like that, just noticing different behaviors, you know.
No, definitely, definitely. I've learned a lot from people. That's the main thing is if you listen to a lot of people that are willing to share information, you follow it,
Hmm.
you almost can't go wrong, man. And that's why I got to give a shout out to Jamie with J&C Hogs, because I did exactly everything he told me to do, and I had an incredible first season. I mean, I
Yeah.
followed his directions to a T. I mean, I couldn't even do it better than I did it. I mean, I bred 4 females only and 104 eggs. 96 babies hatch out, and from 4 females, and I just followed exactly what I was told to do, and sometimes you make your own twists, but when you're doing it first, just follow directions, and you almost can't go wrong.
There we go. So yeah, and like you said, Jamie, JC Hogs, he's been doing it for so long with the hog nose. And if you guys are looking for a very, very high-bred lineage, take a look at Jamie's animals. His albinos, he was working with the albino stuff for many, many years. So it's really cool stuff he's hatching. Like you said, a lot. He's gaining me a lot of his knowledge that's helped me out last year, especially with the breed.
Oh man, I don't know if I'm here by myself, but you're frozen. So there you go, you're back.
There.
So when you're frozen, am I still carrying the
Let me
show?
see.
Because I'll just go.
All right, I think we're back now.
You're back, but you're still frozen.
I'm frozen. You can hear me though.
I can't. There you go. I can hear you though. I can hear you now. You're not frozen anymore.
Now,
So we're
okay.
good.
There we go. All right. Yeah, I've been having some technical issues with the what's it called, with the internet here for some reason. I think I might get my computer taken in and checked out, but we'll go through it. If for some reason I cut out, just keep going and
All right.
I'll catch in because I can hear you.
All right. Cool.
Um, so yeah, so I was saying Jamie, give him his props too because he helped me out, shared a lot of his information with me, and definitely helped me with my last year first breeding season and setting that first baseline on how to breed these things. So yeah, I got to tell everybody hop off the Wi-Fi. The house will burn down if everybody drops off the Wi-Fi. With the kids and stuff like that. But let's say, so how many species do you currently have?
That is a hard one to really say. I've never really counted the species. I can tell you when I got in, I wasn't really planning on all the species that I have. The original plan is, I can make it real quick. The original plan was I was going to have a 2.2 of Frownneck Bacillinotus, which are the neotropical bird eaters, because they're the baddest snake around, and everyone needs to get them. Just run to your local shop and pick one up. The Barron's Racers, 2.2 of the Barron's Racers, and a 2.2 of the rhino rat snakes. There you go. You talk about Barron's racers, you kind of like, it's hard to say rhino rat snakes in the same sentence. But anyways, rhino rat snakes. And then hognose were going to be my morph project, and I was going to I really only have like a few morphs of hognose that I have more than I'm working with, but I really have only a few that I really, really love. And that would be the lemon ghost woma. And I just want to make that double recessive storm cloud. So that I missed it last year. I thought I was going to hit it off of some luck. I've always had super good luck with the odds on leopard geckos, and it just didn't carry over. So I missed my possible hits, and I didn't hit it, but I hit some really, really cool stuff. Now that's 50%, and I held back. I mean, I have a lot of holdbacks because I'm the holdback king. It's like getting free snakes when you hatch out snakes. It's awesome. I love it. And you don't have to get them shipped to you either. So that's pretty damn cool. You don't have to go anywhere to get them. They just hatch it in your house. So that's awesome too. But anyways, I hatched out some really cool stuff. Lemon Ghost Woma, the storm clouds, and I like shadows, and I like polygenics a lot. So one of the things I kind of saw lacking in hognose were polygenics and people working polygenics. I mean, it was I felt, maybe I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. I wasn't deep in the world, but it didn't seem like people were really working polygenics. It was more just about the recessive. Mm-hmm. So, I work with the shadow, which is kind of like a darker gene. It's darker saddles and blotchy saddles and kind of running out into the side, which, Eslin kind of helped me with the history of that, which I give shout out Exotic Fire Hogs. He taught me something. Like I was having a problem with feeding, and he taught me this most simple trick that I learned, and it's incredible. I mean, it's totally transformed my whole feeding, and that was just taking a pinky and sticking it in the back corner for the harder to eat, the ones that aren't eating, and bam, like my problems were solved. It was amazing. I can't believe it. I still like think about it. It was like I had like 30 non-eaters, and I just put one in the back, and then bam, I got like 5 non-eaters. Then that was just like, that's how I feed stuff. I just like scenting with salmon, and that took, and then putting a pinky in the back with salmon, and then that took, and then just a regular pinky in the back, and bam, everybody's eating. So, you got to listen to the experienced people, man, and the people that are willing to help you. So another, and it's cool because we have a really cool, there's a lot of people in South Florida that are breeding snakes, and, it's really cool, man. Everybody's willing to help. So that was my point. I was going to just do those snakes, but I'm not, unfortunately. Fortunately, I got some killer other snakes. There's a lot of friends in the industry. So, I name drop like a mother, but, Chris with Badlands was like, hey, like 2 years ago, he's like, hey man, you want some alternative? You want some Janai? I was like, nah, not this year, man. I'm always have a plan. I try to stick to it. So the next year he hit me up again. Hey man, you want some alternative? You want some Janai? I said, send them. I was already like out deep in it. So I was just like, send them. So he sent me those. And then I kind of went to some reptile shows. I saw some Everglades, some Hypo Everglades I really wanted one year, and then I didn't get them. And then, what up, Jamie? And then I was thinking about them for like a full year. I was like, damn, I didn't get those, man. And then I ran into Blue Tongue. Damn, I can't remember. He's going to be on your show. Republic? Yeah, he's going to be, no, not Blue Tongue Republic. He's going to be on your show in like a couple. Rob, he's going to be on your show in a couple weeks or something like that.
Rob,
maybe I'm wrong, Rob. He's going to be on your show in a couple weeks. I think I saw it on a list. Damn, I can't remember his name right now off the top. Gudo or something like that. Gudo, I don't know. I don't pop him in my head. But anyways, I ran him at a show, and he had them, so I picked those up, and those were badass. And then I kind of always had black milks in my head, so I got a pair of black milks, and dude, I love black milk snake, badass. And then and then black milk snakes got in my head, and now like I'm like on this kick. I'm like looking at all these milk snakes, and then I did an auction, and my wife wound up buying a pair of bull snakes that are mine, of course. But
talking about
but
wife, we got this comment here. Rumor has it Kevin promised his wife they'd never keep snakes because she didn't like them.
I don't know. I don't know how true. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how true that is. It might be a little true, but I don't know about didn't like them. Just wasn't really a snake guy, man. I didn't trust them. They don't have eyelids like those eyelid geckos. But anyways, so she bought a pair because she has an auction problem, and she just bid. She doesn't even, and she just bid on a pair of nice looking bull snakes from Chris from BNS. Put them on there, and they're badass. And so of course I'm like, I'm on a bull snake kick. So I went and I'm like looking at bull snakes, and it just happened. I have a friend. His name is Peach State Pythons. He goes by the Peach State Pythons, Matt. And he posted on his story this badass bull snake. It was a white-sided Exampic. Man, the thing's beautiful. So I text him on Instagram, and he's like, "It's available. It's a female." And I'm like, "It's mine." So like next week he sent it to me. That thing is sweet, and I brought it home, and I said, "Babe, a present," kind of like a self gift. But she loves it. It's cool. Super dope. Not like a bull snake. Our other bull snakes are, they do this broken jaw thing, and they just keep on hitting you. So that's that. So now I have a trio of bull snakes.
Yeah.
And then Chris, tomorrow, Chris from Badlands is gonna send me. Well, he sent it tonight, but a Leonis, and then I'm also getting another 2 female Alterna. So I'm gonna have a 1.3 of Alterna, and then I have a pair of Northern Pines, the Depigeni, the Pituophis Depigeni.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I missed anything. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I also, well, no, I don't have those. Well, I hatched out 8 Barons, so those are in the baby rack. So I'm kind of like going through the baby rack. So I think that's it. I didn't count them, but that seems like a lot.
Yeah. So it's interesting how like that evolves, right? Like especially like you're saying, having friends in the hobby, and once you start talking, oh, I like this, I like that, and once you start building relationships, like, well, I have this available. You get those phone calls, right? And sometimes it's really hard to say no, right? Even if you like, do I really need another species? Do I need something else to feed and take care of right now?
Well, I do. I definitely do. I love working. I want to work more milk snakes. I love the milk snakes. My friend Harry, he's opened my eyes to some beautiful king snakes that I like. I'm not going there just quite yet because I'm trying to slow it down a little bit, because I am still looking at bull snakes, and I'm looking at other milk snakes. That's my hobby. My hobby is pretty much like Morph Market. I mean, I look at Morph Market like people look at Facebook. I don't even think I've been on Facebook in like 6 months. I don't even know.
Wow.
I don't even know. I'm all about. I have a love-hate relationship with that place, Morph Market, but I like looking at snakes on Morph Market.
It's funny because like, especially if you're selling snakes on Morph Market and stuff like that, I think you have to look at it on at least on a weekly basis, see where the price is going, the market is going, what's moving and stuff like that. At least I do. What are your thoughts on like how things are going on the Morph Market? And it's definitely slowed down within the last, I say within the last year. Actually, I'd say the last 7-8 months it really slowed down after summertime. on snake moving and stuff like that. Did you sell any snakes on Morph Market this year or the end of last year?
I don't know. I'm the worst snake seller ever. I mean, I don't even mind. I don't push them really.
Yeah.
I sold a bunch. I sold some on an auction. I sold a few at shows. I pretty much started saying so many leopard geckos in my life, so many African fat tail geckos. I've sold crested geckos and gargoyle geckos. I got into the market. The market has been bad, but it's not just the reptile market, it's everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is doing bad right now. And it's hard to sell. And I'm not big on overproducing. I'm not breeding much this year. I mean, I popped out some leopard geckos and I'm going to have a few more, but I only bred the Afghanicus this year. I think I'm going to put my Engramanu together and I'm into the wild types a lot. So I'm probably going to I have this hard wiki eye that I hatched out like 2 years ago, maybe 3, has a perfect stripe going down the back. First one ever. Beautiful, beautiful gecko. It got egg bound its first year last year. And luckily it passed them. No, I think that was the year before. Well, the years blend, but I think it was the year before. I gave her last year off, and I kind of want to breed her. I want to try her again to see if that stripe is heritable or heritable. Yeah, heritable.
Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So, anyways, I'd like to see if that happens, but pretty much all wild types. And then I might breed. My son has a gecko I gave him. He got into named Shine Goldie, and he wants to breed Shine Goldie and wants to be a reptile breeder like his father. So I'm gonna help him make that dream come true, probably. So let's see if I can get that going. And that's it with the leopard geckos. And I have some really cool projects trying to go with the hogs, and hopefully I can also breed more barons and the rhino rat snakes. But as far as that goes, that sounds like a lot, actually, now that I'm saying it. But I'm not big into overproducing because it's a lot to have a lot of snakes on the market and not move them becomes kind of expensive and a lot of work. And the work is worse than the expense to me. I don't want to overwork myself, because overworking yourself in the reptile hobby creates burnout, and I'm not burning myself out. So I've always been good like that. So I haven't really bred a lot of leopard geckos in the last year or two because I overproduced. Like 3 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, I overproduced. And I sold everything I produced, luckily, because the market was really good back then, but it was too much work for me. It was, look, my face just looks older from thinking about it.
And that's an interesting point about like figuring out what's the magic amount, that magic number that still keeps you busy, involved into your reptiles, but doesn't burn you out. I think that that probably can happen a lot easier than what we're talking about, right? Like you start adding, and then when you look at it, it's like, okay, this is a lot. What am I doing with all these reptiles and stuff like that? Have you thought about what would be your max number of reptiles or species?
Oh, I could do a lot of snakes. Snakes are simple. Like if you've taken care of like 300 leopard geckos, then 50 snakes ain't nothing. I mean, 50 snakes is a walk in the park. It's nothing. So I don't know what my snake number is, but I do know what my baby number is. My baby number basically is 120 maybe, with hognose. Just because I feel I'm not doing it as a living. I'm doing it to make what I want to make. And when like hognose are a little tricky to get going, so you have to get in a mindset of you're going to go into your space. You're going to listen to some music, maybe a podcast if that's your thing. I can't listen to podcasts when I feed because I'm only thinking of feeding. Like I just getting them to eat, and I
Yeah,
hear nothing what they're.
concentrating.
I hear nothing what people are saying, so I just
Yeah.
don't listen to podcasts. But they can be tricky to get to eat. So um, yeah, I think 100, 120 for me with the hogs. Same thing with Leos. It's not so easy to get to eat.
you know, and talking about that because I've talked about that's why I haven't gotten into a what is it called, a lizard species, is because of the amount it will take, how much more work it is. And somebody, and this is a perfect question for somebody like you that has bred geckos and reptile and
Okay,
a lizard
so
species.
wait. First of all, I got more. I got 50 snakes. Is Jamie saying 50 snakes is rookie
Just rookie
numbers?
numbers. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious. I'm a rookie, son. I only have
Yeah.
one. I only have one breeding season under my belt, so I'm okay with that. But I got in my garage way more than 50 snakes, so I
Yeah.
guess I'm a junior. I'm a
Yeah.
junior. I'm starting to move up in the world. But anyways, yeah. So 50 snakes ain't nothing to take care of, but 120 hogs for me is. Leos are kind of like taking care of snakes as well.
Hmm.
You have a dish, you put the worms in a dish, you can put 20, 25, 30 worms in a dish. They eat over the week. The thing is with Leo babies is they poop a lot. I mean, a lot. You have to change them. You have to spray them. You have to change them every other day. So like
More than
if
hog
you
nose babies.
way more,
Okay.
way more, way more. It's insane.
Yeah. You
You've
know,
never seen anything like it. They're like machines, man. They're
it's funny
like
because I've
machines.
gotten that one show. This is actually two shows that I've gotten that comment before. One said this lady came by my and this is both from West Palm. Actually, it's funny that we're talking about this. Somebody came by my table and was like, "Hey, I'm thinking I want a hog nose, but I've been told hog nose are very dirty. Like they poop a lot, a lot." I was like, "They're smaller animals. They eat smaller meals, so you got to feed them a little more often." But I think they poop normally for the amount to eat, right? And then this past show at Reptilian Nation, I also got that comment saying that hard nose poop a lot. So I wonder where maybe compared to maybe like a bigger snake,
Mm, nah,
but like it's
it's
interesting
gotta
to
be a
hear
little.
that this point of view where you're like, that the Leo babies poop a lot.
Yeah, I don't feel like hognose don't poop anything, man. There's nothing. It's nothing. It's you feed them
Yeah.
once, they poop once. Maybe they have
Yeah.
a little bit of extra on the side, like a couple
Mhm.
days, but it's just one feeding, one poop, man, pretty
Yeah.
much. And it's not like a false water cobra or an indigo or something like that. It's not all over the place, man. It's usually they're easy to take care of, man. Anybody that's in the chat or listening later on, I mean, hognose are some of the simplest snakes to take care of. Uh, they're just so much fun. When I held a hog for the first time, they're amazing, man. I mean, they have such cool biology. They the keeled scales from the
Hmm.
upturned nose. They stay small. They play dead when they're babies sometimes. I have an adult that's it's an F1 from Wild Caught Parents, dude. That thing still plays dead, dude. It's killer with the tongue flicking out.
Yeah.
It's badass, man. Those snakes
Yeah.
are killer. Hogs are killer. I couldn't do them. I don't think I could do a morph. I couldn't even do morphs like if the snake wasn't a killer ass snake because those things are awesome. Hogs are awesome snakes. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan. Big fan.
Yeah. Now, I mean, and like that, like you're saying, the characteristics of the
What's up,
hogs.
Jessica?
What's going
Sorry.
on? What's up?
Shout,
Not a problem. Yeah,
shout out.
for sure. The characteristics of them, of their behavior, their defensive behaviors, their handling. It's some of the easiest thing that I think one of the most interesting hog nose. I mean, reptiles that I've had held in my hand at least. You know, another reptile that I thought that I fell in love with was the Barons racers. You know, and I think that's right there. Talking about like, you know, these snakes that we're talking about all fit in the colubroid family, right? And
Yeah.
what you know, being into reptiles for so long, how come you never have you thought about why you never went to like the ball python, the boas, and stuff like that?
Um, you know, I just I love my favorite one of my favorite snakes is reticulated pythons. I really didn't want to get into anything that ate rats really, mostly. And there's clubrids are so awesome, man.
Mhm.
You don't really I don't know. I mean pythons are dope too. I love
Yeah.
pythons. I love boas. I love them all. I've considered getting some rosy boas for some reason. Rosy boas and rubber boas really fascinate me. I love Brazilian rainbow boas. They're insanely beautiful. Uh, I love them all. I just the colubrids. There's so many. The pituophis and the milk snakes and kings and all the boreal stuff. And there's just tiger rats and there's just so much awesome stuff, you know. And corn snakes and there's so much to work with and I don't want to really deal with like I don't know 10-foot snake. I guess not all of them get 10 foot. You
Hmm.
know, boas get kind of big and room is always an issue. You know, I can't have too much arboreal stuff because I want to keep all my arboreal stuff in big caging. You know, it's been like I bought a bunch of snakes and they all outgrew their shit, you know, and they stayed in like kind of like too small of stuff for way too long. As far as I'm concerned, it bothered me, and you know, I got some really cool caging from Black Box and 3x3s, and I need more of them actually, and so my arboreal species is just bam those 12 snakes.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where I'm staying. And then, you know, my Barons babies are in tubs. I have smaller boreal tubs that they're going to go into. I guess they're somewhere like 24 by 24 by 24.
Okay.
They'll move in there. But for the most part, I don't know. And then I don't know where else I would put some more arboreal stuff. You know, it would cost a
Yeah.
hell of a lot of money and a hell of a lot of space because big cages aren't cheap. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I
I
just
gotta
don't want
stop
to build
by.
it.
I gotta stop by and take a look at those the black boxes you got now. So I want to take a look at that stuff.
Yeah,
You
you
got
got to
some
check
lighting
them out.
going on now.
I got some light. I got some lighting. Was it dark before? Because I didn't notice. I
I
didn't
mean,
notice.
it
Is it
looked good
better
to
or
me. It looked
is it better or worse? Is it too light? I feel like
you're
powder.
good. I think you're you're good there.
You get uh yeah, man. So I love all those species and I get more. This the tomorrow when I'm picking up these new steaks, I'm so psyched about them, man. They're really got some killer lineage. Chris is sending me nothing but the best. He has a Dark Knight project with look at you, you're frozen, but I'm just gonna keep going. He has a Dark Knight project with his Alterna. So I'm
Mhm.
getting part of that. I'm getting part two females, and I already have a male kind of from a little bit of that project. So I'm psyched about that. And then dude, this Leonis, man, Lampropeltis leonis, so badass. It's dude, it's from the Vivid line. It's insane red and orange. Like you have no idea. It's so badass. I
Yeah.
can't wait to just hold it. I can't even believe I'm gonna get it. It's that badass, man. And I don't know what else do I got. What else am I going?
See,
Look,
but that's you know, you talk about like the reds and the oranges. You talk about like I think in the colubrids, it's hard to find other, you know, other species that will express some of those orange and reds that we love, right? Like those catches your eyes. Um, or unless we're talking about, you know, venomous stuff like the blues. like I said, when I went to your place and I held the blue barons, that thing, the blue is baby sky blue, and I haven't seen any other snake to hold that color. And it
Yeah,
fell in love,
it's
and since then I've been talking about them, trying to get a hold
they're
of one.
they're so badass, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't be luckier to have those. I got my first mail from Terry Burwell.
Mhm.
Um, I told the story once before on another podcast. I'll tell it again. Um, I put his, like you always say on YouTube, hit the notification and the likes and this and that. Well, I hit the notification for Terry's. I knew he made a post that he was going to post when he was going to put him on Morph Market. So I hit his little bell on Instagram. At nighttime, he posted I think four mails or something like that. So right away, I clicked on it. I paid right away, and like it was done, dude. And the next day, I signed on again, and they were all gone. They went that fast. And then I grew up. I grew up my mail. I had them for about 2 years, and then my buddy John from Palm Beach Colubrids, he hatched out. Well, he's been hatching them out for a few years now, and he saved a female for me that's absolutely beautiful, and I'm growing her up right now. She's big. I mean, she's about 5 foot long, and
Mhm.
she just doesn't have that thickness yet. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to breed her this year. I bred my female green last year, late in the year, probably around I don't know, maybe around July I bred her. So, there's still time, but I'm not going to push her because I don't want to damage her. I still have a brown, I have a brown Barons and I have a green Barons that'll probably go this year. Oh, my green's, she's a monster. She's like seven
Yeah.
foot. She's
Are you
big.
doing a brown male to a green female?
I'm going to do I only have a blue male. So
Oh,
I
you only
have,
have.
so yeah, so I never got the 2.2. I never got the 2.2 of the
Yeah.
Barons. I actually have a 1.3 of the Barons. So this year he's a beast. He eats insane. And so I'll probably be able to breed her and it'll be to a blue.
Okay.
What will happen? I don't know. So I assume what's going to happen is, even though I have a blue, unless there's blue in the lineage, this is all hypothesis. Unless
Mhm.
there's blue in the lineage, I should get greens, and those greens will have blue in their lineage. So if somebody breeds, I think it works like a recessive, but it could also be kind of like a polygenic at the same time, because
Okay.
polygenics could be a lot stronger than people think. And I believe that polygenics sometimes will look like a recessive, but it's really not. It's just a strong polygenic trait that, as long as there's something in the lineage that has that blue in it, that it would pass it on. That's just a hypothesis. I've seen Barron's racers that look green and blue at the same time.
Mhm.
My babies that I hatched out from a blue to green pairing, so they look green, but they have some blue splotches on them and blue chins. But also, again, Barons could turn blue over time. A lot of them, even the blue to blue pairings, they start off green and they slowly fade to blue. So,
Yeah.
anything can happen. That's why I'm holding all mine back. I've been hit up a ton about them, and people
Yeah.
are gonna have to wait till Daytona, because I feel like in Daytona I'll be able to actually have the time. It's August. They'll be probably close to a year by then. I should be able to tell. And
Have a handful of sheds on. Yeah.
yeah, so they're all shedding, they're all eating. I have two on live still. Six are eating frozen thawed. So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
But I think with Brown, I believe Brown is dominant. So I think with Brown you get 50%. You get 50% Browns, and
Mhm.
then the others will be green. I think.
Okay.
But I'll let you know this year, hopefully.
The three colors, the browns, the blues, and the greens, are they from different locales or
No,
stuff like that, or
they're just
there's just some?
supposedly, yeah,
Okay.
they're out in the wild like that. I try to figure it out, but a lot
Yeah.
of people don't know, and I joke around saying it's gonna like new people. Obviously, Baron's been around a long time. I'm not like new to Barons, but
Yeah.
I always joke around saying it's gonna take a leopard gecko breeder to figure out the colors in Barons racers. Because I actually do have a lot of experience with polygenic traits and a lot of experience with breeding morphs and stuff. Uh, so I feel like I really do feel like I could figure it out. Just give me a couple of years, and
Hmm.
I feel like I could nail it down. And that's not me being cocky. I just feel like just seeing
Yeah.
them and growing them out and then breeding them again. It is my only first year, so a lot of stuff's hypothesis, but we'll
But
see.
that's how it starts, right? And having that little idea of even trying it out and not being afraid to like, crash and burn, right? Like if it works out, great, right? If it doesn't, then try something different. And I think that's another great part about like the reptile world where we can create our own little science projects trying to figure this stuff out. Um, so with the polygenics, are you bringing that mindset to the hognose and the other reptiles you have?
Not all the reptiles. I love wild. I actually love. I'm big into wild types, man. I
Okay.
I'm big into wild types, so I will be rebreeding wild type hognose. I have Lubbock County hognose wild types. And I only have one right now, but I have one that's going to be sent to me, a male from unrelated parent. I think they have a related parent, and they have a related parent. I think mother's related, maybe not 100%. I'm on
Okay.
that, but they could be unrelated. They might have one parent in common, to be disclosed at a later time. But anyways, we'll find that out, and I'm gonna breed. So I'm big into polygenics. I always have been. Um, I'm doing a pairing of hognose. I want to see what RBE does to lemon ghost woma. You know,
Mm.
I I want to see if RBE is gonna just take lemon ghost to a new level. Because I've seen RBE do some things. I hear it's a gene. I hear it's not a gene.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna see. I like the reds a lot. I bred. My idea with the shadow was put the shadow into the red lines to saturate the color deeper and darker to bring more of a brick red. So I'm playing around with that, and I have some really good results with that. I don't know. Again, it's my first year. It's all a hypothesis, but I had hatched out some insane stuff that I'm really proud of, and I haven't seen many. It's new to me, so like I comb morph market all the time, and I haven't seen anybody offer anything like it. So I'm pretty proud. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
going in the right direction. A couple more crosses. Like I want to put so I want to take those babies, raise them up for a couple years. I have a raging red female. I mean a raging red male. My bad. I have a raging red male, so I want to breed that into those babies, which then it'll have extreme red purple line, shadow, and raging red all together. So I feel like that would be badass. So I'm into that. And then Lemon Ghost Woma, man, it's like my favorite morph out there, and it's a line bred morph. And you can just make it more yellow and more yellow. So that's another thing that I'm really into. And of course, I want to try with the Storm Cloud and make that more blue. And I don't know 100% how you make it more blue, but I mean, it sounds like it could be line bred thing. Maybe add RBE into it. I saw Jules put RBE into chocolate.
Yeah.
Did you see that on Instagram?
Yeah. Yeah. That thing
So
is
badass. I mean,
insane. Yeah.
yeah, it totally changed. It totally changed the look.
Hmm.
And I don't know. Jeff, I'm surprised Jeff hasn't messed with that yet with Lemon Ghost Loma. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he has and it's just under
You
wraps. Who knows?
yeah, you know what I think what happens with RB, it's the RB and what I haven't seen as well as RB and Arctic mixed together, right? I think what happens there is I think people are afraid that it's going to be unrecognizable because the RB does have a little bit of Arctic work on like the normals as well. And then remember, Lemon Ghost or Arctic came from the Lemon Ghost line. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why they're not, especially with Jeff. Maybe that's why he's not crossing the RBE into the Lemon Ghost.
Well, I think that the thing with RBE is I think that it's a very hard gene to recognize. I could be wrong again. I think it's a very hard gene to recognize because, you could pop out. And I say pop out. You could hatch some really nice normals that have no RBE in them. So, like, if you're hatching out, if you have RBE in there and you're hatching it out, how do you know you have a really nice normal or you have an RBE
Yeah.
normal? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you could hatch either or. I mean, because I've hatched out some insanely different colored condas that look like they're crazy, and there's no RBE in there. It's just a really nice conda. So I think that's messed up. It's just a hard gene to call. But I think that it really did do something different to Swiss chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah. What I've seen in Swiss chocolate with any of the combos is it really intensifies the other gene. So that's what I really like Swiss chocolate. And I'm getting into the project. I have a het female and a visual male coming here
awesome.
in the next month or so. Because I just think like any, like you said, like the RB Swiss chocolate, the Xantic Swiss chocolates, Super Arctic Swiss chocolates. I haven't seen anything Swiss chocolate I don't like yet.
No, it really is a cool gene. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get into it. I'm not 100% on that just because what I'm like now, like I have Stormcloud on my mind, man. That's all I could. That's all I could, think about. Is Stormcloud, and I saw. I don't know, man. I saw my friend Jamie. He's hatched out like. I don't even know if I should even say, but he hatched out I don't know. Should I say it? Should I say it, Jamie? Anyways,
yeah. Let's let him chime in.
Hold Back Rack podcast says there's always time to try other stuff, and she's right, man. There's always room to try something new, and if you like it, try it. If you don't like it, somebody else is going to want to work with it, and I feel like I don't know.
He said, "Go ahead."
My boy Jamie JNC hatched out the first Arctic Stormcloud, baby, and that thing is beautiful. I have a picture of it on my phone, and I swear I pop up that like every day, every other day. I'm like,
that's your morning mantra.
I swear to God, I love that thing, man. It's so badass, so badass, man.
The face right now is really blue, like the cheeks and stuff like that. It's really blue. So it's really cool to see that.
Man, so awesome, dude. So awesome. I love that thing, dude.
Yeah.
I swear.
Like you said, adding RBE to that, I think is going to make it better. Actually,
lavender. If you could put lavender, like I want to do. My thing is, I want to add everything to Stormcloud. Like I don't know about Stormbird. Like I don't know about albino, but like I'd like to see toffee belly in it. I would like to see lavender.
I'm making the triple heads this year with RBE.
Lavender. The lavender in it, man. I would love to see lavender with Stormcloud, Super Arctic Stormclouds, Stormclouds, everything Stormcloud. I want to Stormcloud everything,
Yeah.
And I just love them so much, man. They're such a badass snake. I'm a brown and black guy, so they are blue and they got a blue tint, but it's just kind of like a bluish gray, and it's just beautiful. Beautiful. Cheers, Jamie.
Yeah, congratulations on that one, Jamie. So anybody's interested, make sure you guys go check him out on Instagram. He's going to post a couple pictures on it, and we're going to get him on the podcast here soon. So, and we'll show that thing off, especially once it's got some size on it.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
say, so this year, actually this morning, I had a lock my RB toxic male to my sable female. So I'm really
Nice.
hoping I can get a really nice RBE triple het for that, because I think that's gonna add a lot color, the triple heads with the RBE on top of that.
That'll
You
be
know,
cool, man.
yeah,
That'll be
yeah.
cool.
That's one of my, which that project I'm probably gonna like do like you did this year with the Barons. I'm probably just gonna keep a lot of it back and grow it out and see what it looks like after a couple, after a year or two. And
That's
then if
awesome.
yeah, if I really, and then keep like, keep what I really like, and then maybe let some stuff go to, a couple close friends and stuff they want to get into that project. So that's
Oh,
really cool.
that's awesome. I'm gonna hit the storm cloud. Like I'm gonna have so much sable stuff in 2 years. Like once I grow up all my females, I kept back 7 females, man. I kept back 7 females, all kinds I think I kept back 2 super conda sable, 50% het exanthic, 3 conda sables, 50% het exanthic, and 2 normal sables, 50% het exanthic, all
Mhm.
females. So I'm gonna run every single one of them.
Yeah,
One of them's one of them's got to be
out of
exanthic,
here.
man.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
them, I got to
Or,
get lucky with one of them.
or the one
Hopefully.
I got from you. That one's
Yeah, I hope that one is too, dude. I
yeah,
hope that one is too. I hope everybody hits storm clouds, man.
yeah,
I
yeah.
hope I
It's gonna
storm
be cool.
cloud the world. I'm gonna storm cloud the world, baby.
That's gonna be your new your t-shirt logo.
Yeah, storm cloud the world. I'm
But
serious.
yeah,
I love those things. That's a cool morph, man. I'm surprised it hasn't been made like a lot already, man. It seems like
because you know
something
what?
that people would
Yeah,
want to be made.
the thing is, everybody rushed to the albino and putting Arctic into it, Conda and stuff like that. And now we're playing the catch up with that, and the toffee belly stuff, the Xantic stuff, the caramels, like the oxides, everything else. You know, have you seen a permafrost in person?
I have. They're so much nicer. There's so much that if you see them, you're not like they're no big deal in pictures. It just
Hmm. Hmm.
doesn't do it justice. But
Hmm.
but like in person, it blows your mind. Like the way
That's
like the green and kind of like reddish, kind of like it's just like almost it's like everlasting gobstopper of hognose. I mean,
that's true. Yeah.
it's got so many different layers and colors. I mean,
Hmm.
you can't appreciate it unless you see it in person.
For
Really
sure.
beautiful.
Yeah, and that's another, even the double heads, the double recesses. I mean, the oxide, which is the caramel sable, was it the hypo sable stuff? You don't see it. Sorry, toasted caramel is the sable caramel, and then the oxide is the hypo. Um, but you don't see as much either. Fathom Hogs is the only few handful of people that have been able to consistently produce them. Um, so that's another thing. Another project I'm working towards. I have some triple head stuff that I'm working for that stuff, and again, keeping fingers crossed. Hopefully, I hit even the double recessives on any of them. So that'd be cool to see that
That's
stuff.
cool. That's the way to go, man. It's you got to work the projects for yourself right now, mainly.
Hmm.
Like you gotta work what's important for you while the market is down, because it's hard to sell snakes. So you have to do what you love. You have to do what
Yeah,
you're really passionate. That's like my one big advice. You have to do what you're really passionate about. Don't try to make things for money,
yep,
because if it is your business, the money will come. It's going to be a few years. My other business is like deals a lot with economy, and and I'll tell you, it's going to be a couple years probably before reptiles come back. Until it
yeah,
starts selling really well again.
yeah. You know, somebody, I forgot where I was watching, but somebody said these are the years when it's down. These are the years to make those triple heads, make those quad heads that you want to keep back because you're not counting on the sales of it, right? You're not counting to move them. So this is the year to produce all that stuff. And then in the next 2-3 years, when it picks back up again, guess what? You already have the stuff to make for the future. And those females,
That
if
is
you keep,
true.
you're keeping those females back 3 years, they're ready to go, and you're going to start producing some of this wild stuff. You know, that's an interesting part with the hognose too. Is like we're just scratching the surface with quad heads, triple heads, well, triple. I mean, with triple recessives and quad recessives, and adding the incomplete dominance. Have what are your thoughts on the hognose for the future in the next 5 years?
Um, I haven't looked at 5 years down the road. I've looked pretty far into the future because I'm already like, I'm already thinking about my polygenic projects.
Hmm.
Probably not 5 years down the road, but 3 to 4 years down the road, because it does take. My first year was 2023. So anything that I made in 2023, the earliest I could breed would be like 2025. And that's not even a given. I'm not huge into like power feeding. I wouldn't say power feeding, but I did feed according to what people told me to feed.
Hmm.
And my stuff grew incredibly fast. So I backed off a little what I normally feed. And I'm not feeding hogs every 4 or 5 days now. I feed them every week, every 8 days. So I assume this time it'll be a little slower on growing them up. 2 to 3 years. I think 2 to 3 years a turnaround on a project would be. So I guess 6 years. 6 years isn't that much in the hognose game, man, if you're trying to think ahead of time. But
Yeah.
I have future pairings, like I told you before, with my shadow and my raging red. So that's like 3 years in advance. I got to grow, I would suggest that people work polygenics more, because with polygenics and recessives, you can make your recessives look better than other people's recessives. You know what I'm saying? So if you're thinking of not just making a recessive and putting two heads together, or head and this together, and thinking about putting the best looking snake with a visual, and then now you have that blood in there with your heads, and then you can make better looking snakes. Because when the market does come back, you know who's going to sell the most? Not the people with the same recessives, the people with the better looking recessives.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
so I think that most people should think polygenics as well.
Yeah. And with your experience in the polygenics, what's your best approach to help with, like, outcrossing and then breeding back in? What's
You have you have to get so I think that there's like a misconception that line breeding is all inbreeding, and inbreeding and line breeding are the same thing, and it kind of it's they're close. So there is inbreeding sometimes involved in it, but and I don't have enough, but I'm listening to people that say with hognose, inbreeding depression is very strong. And I would say that I'm just going to listen to that, and I'm not going to do a lot of inbreeding with hogs. With leopard geckos, they handle that. They handle inbreeding like really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're working polygenics with hogs, I would suggest thinking about having, like, so if you're gonna work lemon ghost woma, just have a bunch of different lines. That way you're not crossing brother to sister and sister to brother. You can breed over here, really good ones, and then over here, really good ones. Cross those babies, and then maybe breed back one over there. So then, the bloodline is far apart. There's still going to be some, but then you can always get another male and go to the baby that you produce there. And, you can technically line breed without inbreeding. You just have to have, multiple groups. That's what I would suggest with hognose, is multiple groups. That's what I did with my lemon ghost woma. I have multiple groups of those. I have like multiple groups of red lines as well. So I can kind of, do that line breeding, and then maybe if I have to back cross to a brother, but I got, you don't want to have like, you don't want to do sibling to sibling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this is little advice I got. So this isn't even my own advice, but it just sounds good to me. So I'm gonna pass it on. And if it's wrong, I guess blame me. I'll take the blame. But it sounds good. So you don't want to breed sibling to sibling because the blood is the same. So like if you hatch a clutch and the babies both look amazing, you don't want to breed them together because the blood is completely the same. But if you breed it back to one of the parents, the parent only shares 50% of the blood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have a better chance, and then, of not getting any inbreeding depression.
Yeah.
Anybody in the chat? Chat's over here for me, so I'm going to point over there. Anybody want to chime in on that?
Yeah, if you guys have any experience with the line breeding or polygenics, go ahead and chime in. I was even thinking like half siblings, right? Even go up to that area where half siblings you breed them in and have one separation of parent on both ends. So that's maybe another option there too as well. And then like you said, if you have multiple groups, you can do that a lot easier too if you have like a 2.2 of that polygenic you're working with.
Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, I have I think and I have some wild type blood that's pretty much yellow. So I have I have I have a granite jungle lemon ghost woma cross that just looks like a normal, but I know the blood in there, like I got it from Jermaine of Shovel No Hogs, and I've seen the bless you, twice, maybe 3 times. It kind of glitched on there, so it could have been 3 sneezes, but I think it was 2. Oh, it's just 1. It looked like 3. Anyways, so I bought it. I got a really good price on it because it just looks like a normal. But me working polygenics for so long, I have I have top tier lemon ghost woma from Jeff. I mean, this thing is insane. And I'm growing up this one that doesn't look like much. It looks like a normal. But man, Jermaine has hatched out some insane siblings to this thing. This pairing that he's doing, which is a pure lemon ghost woma to a granite jungle from Kevin Rhodes, and he's hatching out insane stuff. I mean, beautiful. So this one looks like just like a normal, but the blood is insane, and I've seen the siblings. So when I put it to what I got, man, I know it's gonna pop out some incredible stuff.
Yeah, that's another interesting part about like sitting down and picking what looks a little different, what you enjoy the most too, because what you might like, some person might not, or and I think that's the cool part. I've said it in a couple of my YouTube videos where that's one of the things I enjoy most about breeding and seeing these animals hatch, having first picks of what I like. I think that's really cool.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah,
that definitely is cool. That's what I'm saying. Free snakes that hatch out in your house, man, is the bomb. Yeah. I mean, I always feel like I love it. I get everything. I can keep everything. I think I have 33 snakes from last. I honestly hatched out 96, and I kept 18. I kept the 18 holdbacks out of 90. I think that's that's a lot. And then
that's a good amount.
Yeah, it's a good amount. And then, I can't let them go, man. I love them.
But what's a good part about that, right? Like you keep, like I have from one pairing, I think I kept three animals. I think it was two females and a male, and they're all a little different. But I kept all 3, and the other day I was sitting down. I was like, "Damn, did I keep too much from this one pairing?" But guess what? A year from now, 2 years from now, I can grow it up. And if for some reason I want to let one go, then I can let one go. And if I really liked it, somebody's probably going to like it as well. And it's going to, make somebody happy and be picked up pretty quick, especially sometimes it's a year or 2
True.
years old already.
Well, that's true. And I was over your house, and you had that sable that
Hmm.
you had on Morph Market, and it just shed out, and you're like, dude,
Yeah.
it never looked like this before.
Yep.
And you took it off of Morph Market, and I was like, dude, that's the right decision, man. That thing
Yeah.
is insane. It looked
Yep.
different from everything else you hatched. How does it
Hmm.
look today? Still as
It's
cool?
yeah, it still looks cool. I think it's going through shed now again too. So I'm looking forward to see what it looks like on that. And that's the cool part about it, because that one has Esling Exotic Fire Hugs has a sable similar to that. He calls it a black back, and it's really dark on the back, but this one's an Arctic. So the side walls, and you saw it, has those the translucent tips on the scales and stuff because of Arctic. So it has a really cool, almost like two-tone. I think somebody mentioned like almost looks like a white-sided, similar to like a white-sided bull snake, where that different
Yeah.
what's it
Yeah, I like
called?
that. Like it's
So
just the white sides, and you got the
mhm,
back like a
yeah.
racing stripe down the back. Yeah, it's cool.
Mhm,
No, it's definitely cool. Black back makes sense.
mhm,
It would be cool. And if Eslin has one, man, it would be cool, like to actually get a polygenic black back. Like
correct.
to create a black back. Hey, man,
Mhm,
you made the white walls. The white walls. If that's what you want to call them,
mhm,
they could carry on, man. You don't know until
sure.
you breed a couple generations. I mean, um, I would give you an example with leopard geckos. They have these leopard geckos called um, bold stripe, and it almost looks polygenic. I mean, there's two stripes going down the back.
Mhm,
And, I mean, it is polygenic. There's two stripes going down the back. Those two stripes are super. I mean, they're very strong. You don't need. They could show up at any time. You could breed two geckos that have it in the lineage, and they pop up. It almost looks like it's a recessive thing. So it could be strong enough to carry that trait on. You don't know until you try to make it. The
yeah.
black back, I
Yep.
mean,
Yeah. And
I
then
don't
we were
know.
talking about, Jamie earlier. The Jamie has the tigers and the reverse stripe line in his bloodline too. So that's another cool thing. And I have some of his albinos that the female is just a regular, red albino female, but comes from that lineage. And that's one of those that three siblings that I kept. And one almost has it definitely has a reverse stripe. And at the beginning, the stripes, the side stripes actually connect. So that's another polygenic, what's it called, trait there that it's pretty cool, and the tigers are really nice as well. If you guys seen
I
some of
like the
Jamie's
tiger.
tigers, are
I
really
love
cool.
it. I have one in my rack. I have
Hmm.
and I use that's what I hatched out some last year. I only hatched out one tiger
Hmm.
out of all of them, but it was to probably because it was a shadow. Shadow was in the pairing as well. So there was no, it wasn't tiger to tiger. So like if you were to
Yeah.
do tiger to tiger, I would have probably had maybe 80% of the clutch would have been tiger, probably, because that's a strong gene. I actually would love to see um, lemon ghost woma and tiger, how they react together, because they both have that kind of
That's
like
the
banding.
bands. Yeah.
So I was kind of interested in doing with that as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pair. I don't know if it's going to go down because he's kind of my raging red to that albino from Jamie.
Hmm.
I want to see. I haven't seen any kind of like. So I paired five. I paired five snakes, five females, and three of them I saw locks, and that was one that I did not. There's two I did not, and
Okay.
they both don't look good. They both don't look like anything. You don't look like they're
Hmm.
rabbit at all. The other three kind of look like maybe something's happening, but it's still early on. So this hogs go from like blot, like they go from
Yeah.
nothing like
Yeah. From one day to
to
another.
like
Yeah.
yeah. So it could show anytime. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love seeing that prelay shed, and then I know it's down. It's going down when they're fat, and
Yeah.
then they do that prelay shed, and it's happening.
Yeah.
You know,
Did all the females you bred? How many females you bred last year? You said
I only bred four.
four, and they all laid for you.
They all double
Nice,
clutched.
nice.
I had a lot of I had a lot of eggs. Felt like 104 eggs were laid, 96 hatched. So I feel like that was for four females. That's to me that
Yeah,
was a lot.
that is a lot. Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
good amount of eggs for four females. And that's another crazy part about like the hognose, where you can get so many eggs from a handful of females. This year I'm doing 12 females, and I think about to myself, it's like, all right, if all these females lay and double clutch, how much am I gonna have? At the end of the hatching season, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot
it
of
would
mouths.
it
Yeah.
would be a lot.
you
It'd
know
be a
and
lot
for
of
for
time.
for for me and somebody like you that just started and get into the hog nose, for me it's a lot. And I think this year for me it's a good and be a good gauge on how much more I want to grow the hog nose and stuff like that after this year, and see, like, do I really want to add another full rack of females, or do I want to add maybe another five more and stuff, to see where it goes from here.
I
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of females, but that's cool, dude. Yeah, I would try it out. I would
Hmm.
try it out, man. You'll learn. You'll learn
Oh,
either
for
the
sure.
hard way or it's for you. I think that
Yeah.
hognose do lay a lot of eggs, but I listen to I listen to a lot of podcasts, and it's kind of hard to say why hognose prices haven't come down when they lay so many eggs. But I think it's because it's, first of all, not all the hognose. I don't think all the hognose live, even all the ones that hatch.
Hmm.
They just fail a lot of failure to thrive. I
Hmm.
think out of the 96 eggs that hatched, I lost 10 babies.
Hmm.
So then I'm down to 86. I think that a lot of people that get into hognose realize it's not for them. So they get out of hognose because it's tedious, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feeding baby hognose is tedious, man.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work. So unless you're dedicated to the cause, which is the cause is the hog, the cause of the hog.
The
If
cause
you're
of the hog.
dedicated, if you're dedicated to the cause, man, then you're gonna do good. But a lot of people, they realize it's not for them, man. I almost had a breaking point last year until I found out a few tricks.
Hmm.
And one of the tricks to me was like, hey, I'm going in there, dude, and you just got to realize they're not going to eat, because you
Yeah.
just can't, like, if you're
Yeah.
going in there, you just can't understand, like, why are you
Yeah.
eating, man?
Yeah. Like,
It drives you crazy.
yeah.
But
I
you
I
just have
caught
to go in
myself
there.
like holding my breath while I'm trying to feed this baby that hasn't ate since it's hatched. Like, what
I
am I doing? Like, my breathing is not gonna make this baby eat or not
I
eat.
know it's
uh,
super frustrating.
it
It's
is.
super
But
frustrating. So
you know why? And I think that's because you care, right? We care about these babies surviving and thriving and stuff like that. You want to give them the best opportunity to survive. Um, you know,
it's true. It's
was it?
true. So I think like that's one of the reasons hognose don't, like. I mean, there's not everybody could be a hog. I don't think everybody could be a
Yeah.
hognose breeder. I haven't bred a lot of species. I'll let you know how hard other species are. The Barons are pretty easy.
Hmm.
The rhinos, when I got my rhinos, they were from, I got them imported from Europe because I couldn't get them at the time. And they were tricky, man. They were tricky. I had to go with rosy reds with pinkies in the water. And then they didn't eat for months and months and months. So once you get in that frame of mind, it's like, hey, they're going to eat, but it's just not going to
Yeah.
be how you want it. It's going to be
Yeah.
how they want it. And you're going to have to go in there with a good frame of mind, throw your headphones on, go in there after a nice dinner or something like that, throw on the
Yeah.
candles, just relax, man.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
relax and go to feeding.
Yeah.
Eventually I'm gonna try Alterna, and it's gonna be a real bitch.
So another one step above what we're talking about with as in telling you about dropping that pinky on a corner and stuff like that. One thing I tried last year was I got these about 1 ounce or half ounce little, like deli cups.
Yeah.
And I'll put the pinky in it and put that cup in a corner, so they almost come in there, and like 98% of the time I've had success with that as well. It's almost
That's
like
good.
same situation of
I
dropping
thought
them in the
about
corner.
like a
It's
little
just,
one, like a ketchup thing,
yep, exactly what it
like a
is.
little
Yeah,
ketchup thing.
yeah,
That's
like one of
cool,
those little
man.
condiments, and
Because
it's
they go into it, they hit it.
correct, and they can almost get trapped in that little funnel area.
Yeah. I've locked them in
It's
deli
like,
cups. That works too. You lock them in a
mhm,
little deli cup. They
mhm.
go around, they hit it, they hit it, they hit it, and I guess eventually they just eat it.
Yeah,
Just for like anybody that's thinking about in the group chat that hasn't bred hogs or thinking about breeding hogs, I'll just give like my go-to hog scent, and everybody's different. But this year it was every single hog eventually took salmon water from, like, you buy a little can of salmon.
mm-hmm.
It's really good. You buy the can of salmon, you drain the juice into like whatever, a couple little. This is how I do it. This took me a long time to learn, so I'm giving out some free information. I was draining it into like a little cup, and then I'd use
Yeah,
it for like a day and put it in the refrigerator, and then use it the next day, and then I would throw it out. But that becomes expensive. So what I would do was I would drain it into these little 1 ounce cups. I would freeze like 8 of them, however much juice I could get out,
mm-hmm.
and then I would unfreeze it when I was going to feed, and then I
Yeah,
would use it and then throw it away, and then I'd have 8 others. And when I do that, then a little mayo on in the salmon. You eat a sandwich. You eat a sandwich while you're feeding the
yeah,
hogs. And
yeah.
I'm serious. Salmon's damn good damn salmon. Like in the can.
Have you ever this one thing that was running through my head, to like pre-scenting the room, even with like a salmon, like just leaving it out in the room before, like an hour or two before you feed. Could also be,
Feed.
you got to feed tonight.
Yeah, I got it. But it's okay. It's okay. You just reminded me. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Because
All right.
my adults, like, my adults are easy, man. It's just ba 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 ba. It takes me like seriously. Because I fed I fed every baby in the room on Sunday. So what was that, 2 days ago?
Mm-hmm.
So I fed every baby on Sunday, and I was gonna feed adults today, but I forgot to take them out of the refrigerator. The mice, that is.
Yeah.
And so I took them out like maybe at 6 o'clock. So they should be ready now. After the podcast, I'm going to go feed adults. It'll take me like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No problem.
Talk about refrigerator. Did you brewmate your hognose last year before breeding them?
I did not.
You didn't? Okay.
I didn't.
I
didn't.
you had good success then.
No, I'm not going to call it success. I'm not going to call it success till eggs are on the ground. I did see locks.
I mean, 2023 breeding season.
Oh, 2023 breeding season, I did brewmate.
Okay.
I did brewmate. This year I had a lot going on, and I couldn't break out the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I'm gonna say that I took them all off of heat in the rack. I didn't feed them for 6 weeks. And then I started feeding them. Some of them shed out right away. I threw in the males, like feed and breed. So I threw in the males. I got locks from 3 of them, like definite locks. A lot of them were doing the breeding dance that they do, the twitching, whatever it is. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I hear that you don't. Some people don't. I like brewmating. I feel like it's the way to go.
Yeah.
I just, man, sometimes life gets in the way, and there's other shit that's like I just couldn't, dude. I was really disappointed, but I'm not too crazy disappointed, because some of the projects I wanted to go, man, but I don't know what to say. The market is so bad, dude. I stood around at shows so many times. I had 3 shows. I sold 5 snakes in 3 shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my morph market page is all right. It doesn't, it wasn't like I, you know, so this is my first year selling snakes, and it's the experience of selling snakes is nothing like selling leopard geckos. You know, I sold leopard geckos very easy.
Yeah.
But I also built my
Do you
leopard.
think the price range it's got to do with it? With the
No,
price range
my
on
prices are, excuse me, my prices are very good. I'm not trying to undercut anybody.
yeah.
They might be a little bit lower than a lot of the people
I'm
that
talking
are
about like
doing it
compared to
for.
the geckos and hognose.
Yeah, geckos are cheaper, but I
Mm-hmm.
also I built my name on geckos. I've been doing geckos for 7 years. You know, I built a successful. I don't know if you hear me, but I'm just gonna go like you do. I built a successful Instagram off of geckos, and I just it was my thing. You know, I went to shows as mutant geckos, and I don't know why my nose itches every time I talk on camera, but it does. But anyways, I built my name on mutant geckos, you know.
You got to powder your
So
nose before you come on camera. That's what the
yeah, that's
secret
like
is.
it's actually like I did powder my nose before I came on camera. As you get older, you get hair in your nose, man, and it just bothers you, I guess, or like it's a nervous thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's because I'm talking to myself because you're frozen, so I'm looking at myself when I talk. Um, so I guess it could be that, or it could just be like when I decided to start selling snakes, the market fell apart. You know what I'm saying? So like I know the economy very well, and it's not, again, I'm not being cocky, but I do know the economy very well. I've been trading commodities for the last 20 years, and well, not really trading, but selling commodities for the last 20 years. So I have a pretty good eye on the market and what it's doing. So, you know, I started selling snakes when the economy started getting bad. So, you know, I went to Daytona. I didn't do good. I sold good leopard geckos, but I sold 1 snake. You know, I was also believe I was in a shitty location in the back room. My own fault, because I waited till the last second to get a table. I was in the last worst spot you could possibly be in. With that said, no one knew who I was. I never bred a hognose before in my life. This is my first year showing up. So, you know, like I said, I built my name, leopard mutant geckos. I still, to this day, I look at a hognose sometimes. I ask, man, that's a nice looking gecko. You know, it's just, I swear to God, I do it all the time. It's just ingrained in my brain. Like, hey, that's a nice looking gecko. Even if it's a snake, it's a nice looking gecko, you know? And you know, you mentioned mutant serpents before. I built my mutant serpents page. I mean, I got 1,000 followers pretty quick on mutant serpents. I'm pretty good. It's all about consistency. The reason why I did mutant serpents was because I just, you know, people like gecko people don't like looking at snakes, man. And snake people don't like looking at geckos. It's just the weirdest thing. You know, I noticed it on the algorithm. I noticed it with the likes. You know, I post a snake, it get 3 likes, as opposed to a gecko that get 300-400. And I just decided to start mutant serpents. And then I was just like, one time I was just like, man, this is getting hard to run 2 pages. It's just like, I'm just going to do mutant reptiles, man. So I just went to mutant reptiles. I mean, I've been about reptiles my whole life. I had a tortoise my tortoise I bought in 2000 at Daytona, a little quarter size, you know, a sulcata. I still have it to this day. I've had everything, like not everything, but I've had savanna monitors, black throat monitors, tegus, collared lizards, rhino iguanas before. I mean, red tegus, black and white tegu, veiled chameleon. You know, I've had a lot of stuff in the past, and I have a good amount now. I have Yucatan spiny-tailed iguana. I have a couple collared lizards. I have a rhinoceros iguana, a sulcata, a cave gecko. I have a bunch of iguanas still. I have a Leachianus pet. I have a crested gecko pet. So I still have a lot of species, man.
Yeah.
You know, I still have a lot of species. I'm not breeding everything. I don't want to. The reason why I don't want to breed crested geckos is because you walk around and you see a ton of crested geckos. I just don't want to not really compete, but I don't even be offering crested geckos, you know. So, you know, it's really weird. Kind of felt the same way as Leo's, but you know, Reptilian Nation. You were at Reptilian Nation. I don't know if you had a chance to walk around, but there wasn't that many leopard gecko breeders there. I mean,
No, there
you had
weren't. No.
Matt. You had Matt, which from Sassowback Reptiles, which is really good leopard gecko breeder. You had Scott with Miami Art Geckos, another really good leopard gecko breeder, great crested gecko breeder also. But besides that, you really didn't have many Leos out there, which I was surprised. But
you know
I
that
don't know,
should be
man.
a little different because they limit on how many of how each species vendors they have. They try to make a variety, so it's a little different. But even then, you know, there wasn't that many, like you said.
Well, I've actually transitioned. I'm a big man. I love snakes, dude. I just I can't tell you, man. Snakes are
Yeah,
so damn badass, dude.
yeah,
I always I told you before. I always say to my daughter, I said, "Are you thinking about snakes like I'm thinking about snakes?" You know, and I got like I got to give a shout out to my daughter because you know, we spent at Reptilian Nation. Her and I drove up at 8 in the morning. We got there like opening at 10. We walked in. We spent all day there. She spent all day with me. We had the best time talking reptiles. We talk reptiles nonstop at home. We were there till 6. It closed at 6. We were there till 6:30 talking reptiles, man. You know, we
yeah.
past close. And then one of the vendors, which I'll give another shout out, New Moon Reptiles, which is an importer exporter. But let me tell you something, top quality stuff. And I've been to their facility before, and it is spick and span, man. Beautiful, beautiful stuff, man. And they really keep top notch. And they invited us back to a barbecue. And we went to there till 10:30 at night, talking reptiles, man, all day long. And
Nice.
she loves it. You know, it's great, man. It's nothing like having a kid just,
Yeah,
you
a
know,
little
love it
partner in
like you love
crime.
it. Like
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
always talking about reptiles, man. It's crazy. She's
yeah,
big into Abronia, uh, monkey tail skinks. She's always trying to talk me into buying monkey tail skinks.
yeah.
But I feel
That's
like
another bucket
my
list.
eyes.
What's it called? Species for mine too. For me, the monkey tail
Monkey
skink.
tails.
Yeah,
Monkey tails, they're so cool. They are so they're like dinosaurs. They are
they
really
are.
wicked, dude.
Yeah,
They are
yeah.
really
The
wicked.
thing with that is, you know, what I've heard from them is they do a lot better in like trios and big groups because they're
That's
communal
what I
animals.
hear. No, that's what I
So,
hear, and a lot of people keep them that way.
hmm
Maybe one day. I always I tell people I have a 5-year plan, and my 5-year plan includes reptiles. You know, like I really would love to move out of Miami. I'm born and raised in Miami. In fact, the hospital I was born at is 2 miles away from here. You know, so I'm a real hometown boy. I'm dying to get out of Miami. I moved to Miami to a little place and breed reptiles for some you know, supplemental income and try to just garden and homestead and have my chickens and that's the dream, man.
sounds
You
like you
know,
have retirement planned out, man.
I don't want to say retirement, man, because I don't want to like be retired and I'm still young. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to really call it retirement because I just want to enjoy my reptiles, man, and enjoy my life and my wife
hmm
and my kids, you know, and just live the dream, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I
America,
hear that. I hear that.
bleed America, man.
That's right.
Best country
Yeah.
on earth.
Yeah. You know, and I think a lot of people are, especially people that are into reptiles or just animals in general and want to keep a good amount of animals are steering towards that same path. You know, moving away from the cities and trying to, you know, homestead and find a patch of land somewhere where they can keep growing their dreams of how many animals we can keep and maintain. right? I have the same situation, same dream. Like, we've thrown the idea of getting out of Miami as well.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah, Miami's crazy lately, and it's just growing so much,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's building everywhere, and work. I told you I work 15 miles away. It takes me like an hour and 20
Hmm.
minutes to get home. It's just insane, man.
Hmm.
And there's more out there. There's more out
Yeah,
there.
there is, man. So, before we close this out, with the hognose and what species you're breeding this year? The hognose, you're breeding the barons again, the
and the
rhinos.
and the and the rhinos. That's it.
Okay,
I got all my stuff as babies.
okay,
So I got all my stuff as babies. I'm growing out black milks. I'm growing out my everything basically. The only thing that I have ready to go are the hogs, the barons, and the rhino rats. Everything else is still
yeah,
small. I've always bought
and,
everything as babies. I've never bought adults.
yeah, and then the geckos, you're little by little moving away from them, right?
Not my wild types, man. I'm still
Okay,
I love, dude, geckos are awesome, dude. The leopard geckos are kick ass,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
I can't just get rid of them, man. I love, like, I do want to keep some, but I'll always be love leopard
mm,
geckos, man. And people don't, like, they look at it and they don't see them, but leopard geckos,
yeah,
great personalities, man. Sometimes they seem smarter. I know they've got little pea brains and everything, but dude, they seem smarter. That, like, they're at the tub looking at me. They're just, they seem smarter than they are, man. They're cool
mm,
geckos. Leopard geckos are awesome. Anybody just wants to get a pet for their kid, a leopard gecko is the best one. I mean, there's not cresties. Cresties are cool because they're dope looking. They got cool eyes. They got the little, like, they got nice skin and they jump, blah blah, but there's nothing in the eyes, dude. They're just like blah, they just jump everywhere. Leopard geckos, man, they kind of look at you with a little bit of something
yeah,
in their
yeah,
eyes, man.
yeah, and that
I
that
don't know.
smile,
Leopard geckos
man.
are dope.
you
The
know,
smile, dude. They're just cool geckos, man. I
they
love
are,
leopard
they
geckos.
are.
So I bred the Afghanicus. I'll breed some more, but I'm not. Man, I love snakes. Snakes are the way to go for me. And then plus, I get kind of the same thing from snakes as I do the leopard geckos. I love the reptiles, and they're just less work, man.
Mm,
I just like the ease of care with the snakes, and I'm always got a snake in my hand when I'm home, dude. There's very rare a day that I have a snake in my hand, or even a leopard gecko. Like, I always have reptiles out. It's what we
yeah,
do here.
yeah,
My
yeah,
my family room's got, those were got in Daytona. Wait, yeah, two pictures in Daytona. That other one
yeah,
on the internet. This is my family room, man. Reptiles everywhere.
yeah. And
You
then
know,
so you got with the barons, you say you're breeding a blue to a brown.
a
The
blue to a
rhinos,
brown and a blue
yeah,
to a green.
okay,
Maybe, possibly, if I do a month, we're considering doing a joint pairing. Maybe it'll be a blue green to a green. I don't know yet, but it's
okay,
definitely, it might be, it's a blue to a green, a blue to a brown, and a rhino pairing.
okay.
And then the hogs that I paired already, if it
Yeah.
happens, because I don't know, man. I mean, I've seen locks, but do they need the
Mhm.
brewmate? Do they need the brewmate
I've heard people
to?
have success without roommate in them, but let's this will be the year for you to really tell,
Well, I'm
because
still gonna brew. I mean, even if I didn't, I mean, just because of life happens,
hmm
I'm still gonna brewmate every year. It's just
yeah,
this year I didn't, man.
yeah,
I still believe in the brewmation way, man. It works. It worked for me the first year. Um, I guess I hear in the Python world, I listen to so many podcasts that they food cycle a lot of times. So
hmm
maybe what I did was a food cycle for them, and I kind of simulated a little bit of famine,
yeah,
of the winter where they don't get any food. And then, it was a little bit cooler, and then I turned the heat on, and then I started feeding them. So now, they're eating, and now it's time to breed. So again, hypothesis, but or maybe trying to look at the bright side. One of those definitely.
Yeah. No, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick your brain and see how it goes, because I'm interested to see both parts of how much. Are you breeding the same 4 females?
No, I'm
No,
doing different.
different.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm breeding real quick, because
Yeah.
it's very little. So I'm doing an exanthic superconda het albino to a snow, which a snow is an albino exanthic,
Mm-hmm.
as you know. And I'm breeding an RBE superconda toffee belly to a lemon ghost woma. I'm breeding lemon ghost woma to a shadow, and I'm breeding an exanthic superconda, the same exanthic superconda that I bred to the snow, het albino, to a shadow, Arctic shadow het albino. And then that's 4 right there. Oh, and then maybe I'm breeding 6. Then I'm breeding a raging red to an albino purple line. And then I got a small. This one's small. This one be I mean, if this happens, it's going to be freaking amazing, because my male is so small. But it's an Arctic albino het sable to a conda het sable.
Arctic albino headset. Okay.
So I could hit Arctic. I could basically hit Arctic conda sables het albino, and then I also could hit. I also have a theory that everything could possibly have albino.
Albino in it, yeah.
Because my Arctic shadows weren't supposed to be het albino, but I hatched out albinos, and I know that everybody, like, albino's been around forever. So I just feel like just knowing leopard geckos and breeding leopard geckos for so long, albinos are almost in everything. So
you get an Arctic sunburst.
So I can hit an Arctic sunburst for all I know, but I don't even care, man. I don't think it's going to even happen. Personally, that's a pairing. That's I don't know what you would call it, pissing in the wind, dude. Because the male is really small, but I'm trying anyways. I just feel like males are small, man.
Yeah,
and I've been told that a lot of like little males have gotten it done, and he's close to a year, so I think he might be able to. I didn't see any locks the last year, and I didn't see one lock. I didn't even see twitching or nothing. I saw nothing. I didn't think anything was going to happen.
Yeah,
good eggs.
And there's issues because like the locks I've seen last year and this year is generally like around 6:30, 7 in the morning. Like early in the morning, and I think I'm lucky. I'll catch him because I'll wake up about 6 o'clock, 6:30, and the snake room is right next to my daughter's room. So I'll wake them up and I'll pop in here real quick and pull a couple tubs and see and stuff like that. So I've caught a handful of stuff this year and last year.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So cool, out of the hognose, is the shadow and the woma your most anticipated pairing?
No, not really, because that one's a shot. Yeah, it would be. It would be, but it would be just. It's not, because he had an operation, so I'm not 100% that's going to even go. And he's always been a little bit timid of a male, so my biggest anticipation last year was that male. So that's a JMG line, Lemon Ghost Woma. Really, like, one of the best he's ever sold, as far as I'm concerned, because I've looked at Morph Market for 3 years and I've seen what he's sold. So last year he let out his best stuff, and I was one of the people that were able to grab him. And then I got from Ectotherm Empire, Aaron and Andy. There you go. I got Gabbert line lemon ghost woma. So I
Mm.
put them together, and she built follicles and everything, and I thought it was done, and then she reabsorbed. So that didn't happen. And then this year, early on in the year, he had an operation to remove like an infection, kind of like it was a scent gland infection, but really
Mhm.
bad. So none of the hemipenes were affected, and I was told I could still breed them. So, but I kind of in my head wrote him off. So I put that candy, which is the Super Conda Toffee Belly RBE.
Mhm.
I put that to my Lemon Ghost Woma female
Okay.
Wraith line. So that's kind of my biggest. That's kind of my biggest one, because I'm interested in seeing what happens with, like, if I could get any RBE, because Lemon Ghost Woma is a line bred trait.
Mhm.
So how powerful it is, I don't know. But if I could possibly hatch out a really powerful Lemon Ghost Woma from there, and then have RB at the same time, and
Mhm.
make it I'll use Jeff's term, make it look like vitamin piss.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's gonna
yeah.
be interesting to see if you can put those two together there. You know. And
So I just want to see it. And plus I'll be getting, like, I mean, have you ever seen, Jermaine does an incredible job at doing the PowerPoints
yeah,
on
the morphs and
hognose,
stuff like that.
the
Yeah.
morphs and stuff. Like, that's
Mhm.
just my opinion, some of the best stuff on the internet,
Mhm.
as far as morphs go with hognose. I learned all my morphs from I've learned all my morphs from that. But he
Yeah.
has a Super Conda Lemon Ghost Woma that is insane, dude. It's like a yellow Super Conda, man. And I would love to make a yellow Super Conda. It's just, well, it's so insane. So I'm on the way to doing that with this pairing, because I'm going to get all condas.
Mhm.
How powerful the lemon ghost is going to be will be determined, but hopefully, with the toffee belly being in there, toffee belly is usually more of a lighter gene, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. And I've heard,
So
like, sometimes you get some of the really nice lemon ghost out of like low percentage lemon ghost lineage.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just one of those shot in the dark things, right? Like hopefully
Yeah,
it
and a lot of
happens.
nice lemon ghosts, like you said before, a lot of nice lemon ghosts pop out of Arctic stuff,
Mhm. Mhm.
because that's where it came from. So,
Mhm.
you know, so anything can happen, man. It's genetics, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can
And
coin
it's
that.
it's it's almost, I would say, so what about your, because we didn't touch this subject, with your snakes, are you feeding all mice to your snakes?
I feed all mice, man. No, not all, but for the most part, I feed pretty much all mice. I have
Mhm.
fed birds before to my
Mhm.
bird eaters. I know that there's like a trend
Mhm.
on feeding like quail and stuff.
Mhm.
I'm not opposed to it, man. I actually bought my wife and daughter bought button quails to
Okay.
breed for me, and but that ended tragic, man. It just ended tragic because we bought a bunch of button quail, and it turned out that I don't know how to put this PC, but we had 4 males and 1 female, and they did her dirty, and they killed her. So then I was
Oh,
stuck
wow.
with four. Yeah, yeah. So then I
Yeah.
was stuck with 4 males. So I took them out, and
Mm.
now I have none. And do I want to get back into that? I kind of like. I'm just, I don't know, man. I've never
Yeah.
been good at killing shit. Like my chickens, like when I homestead, like I've had to put down a couple chickens. I never really liked
Mhm.
it, but and I never like putting down the quail either. It's just not me. I mean, I taking a frozen thing out of a freezer, I equate to me eating a steak. I mean,
Yeah.
a cow it's a cut up cow or a dead chicken in your refrigerator. So
Mhm.
to me, the mice thing is not a big deal. But when I was younger, I had a job, and in a reptile store, and I used to kill mice by the hundreds, and I always hated it. I don't know if I could just kill a bunch of quail. Maybe I could. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I should try. I don't know. But maybe I'll get into it again. I've thought about doing finches and finch eggs and all that stuff, but it's just another job right now, man. And honestly, I'm away from my house for 50 hours a week at my other job, and then to start breeding mice or quail or finches or anything like that, it's just more work, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's just my wife and my child take care of the chickens. We have about 13 chickens. We eat their eggs. One day I'll eat the chickens. I mean, they look tasty. Yeah.
Eventually, you got to cycle.
Eventually, man.
Yeah,
I'll work up to it, man. You know, it's just like anything. I mean, I'm not a killer, dude. I'm not a natural born killer. You know, what can I say? I'll work up to that shit.
Yeah. You know, with like you said, the people trying to feed more diverse to just general, all the reptiles and stuff like. There's the quails. You know, myself, I've tried the Reptilinks. I just tried quail, like actual full size quail and the quail eggs last week. And
Yeah,
you know, I have females that, you know, all my at least my breeders and stuff like that take mice. That's just what they're used to. But I have animals that take the Reptilinks. I have some that don't, and same thing for the quail. Some took the quail, some didn't. So you know, it's just interesting trying to see what they actually will take and eat and stuff. And you know,
how much were the quail, if you don't mind me asking?
It was actually, it's pretty about spot on with mice. If I'm not wrong, it was for day-old quails that are size of hoppers. $48, and this is from Blake's Exotic Feeders.
$48 for 100
or 50.
48 for 50. So that's like almost like
70 something cent, like 78 cents or some piece or something.
Yeah. So that's like a hopper.
Like a hopper, yeah. So they're pretty, you know, and you know that's a local source down here, South Florida too. So
no, yeah, it's badass, man. No, I would like to try that, man. I'm not opposed to doing quail. I wish I lived close to a chicken farm, because I hear these people on podcasts that live close to a chicken farm get the chicks for like next to nothing, dude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like something to get
it's like cents. Like cents.
Yeah. I mean, we're not that far. If we get the Redlands pretty quick, it's got to figure out, you know, find a chicken farm.
They're building. Yeah. The farmers are selling out, man. The builders are coming in, and everybody from New York and California are coming here, and they're buying up, buying.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, like I think, you know, where I live, it's, you know, was it less than a block away? We have some fields, but there's already, I think there's already set plans for that field and stuff like that within the next year or so.
Yeah. They're building out there, man. They're building out there. Mm-hmm. But I'm not opposed to it. I do like doing different feeders. I try to feed the leopard geckos little different bugs here and there. Yeah. I think I would do chicks. I tried to do chicks. I did chicks to get the bird eaters to start going. They were prone to taking chicks easier. Yeah. So till I got them on mice. I think a varied diet's good for them.
And I think the varied diet for the hognose, I think, is important, because from what I've heard, a lot of necropsies that have been done for hognose, a lot of times have the fatty liver, and they justify the death to the fatty livers. And it's probably just from the mice diets.
You know, when I got into hognose, though, people also told me to feed like a mother. And I did, and I noticed like how fat they can get. So, I mean, that could also be the reason. I mean, if you're feeding hogs every 4 or 5 days, man, I mean, that's a lot of food, you know, and they get plump. They get plump. So like, it was good. It was good for a reason, because my females got really plump, and then they had eggs, and they looked, you know, really good after they laid. Hognose are cool because they eat the whole time they're gravid, and they eat nonstop. They never stop eating, so they never really lose weight. So that's cool. But Yeah, my hogs did really good, man, but they were really fat before they laid. I don't know, they did really well, but they don't look as fat as they did last year. Like I kind of laid off the feeding,
Yeah,
like I don't want to.
and I even with talking about like that food cycling, um, I don't know how many people do it, but I even brewmate some of my hatchlings. I did the year before and this year and stuff like that, and they do pretty well. And it seems like they still catch up with the normal growth cycle.
What, like every week?
No, like with it, like brewmating them,
Mm.
same with the adults.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then and then still feeding every week, and
Oh
growth is
nice.
still pretty about the same, I think. At
Yeah,
least
cool.
lengthwise and stuff like that, and maturity levels.
So you brewmated yearlings or you brewmated babies?
So last year I brewmated yearlings and some babies, and this year I brewmated what I could take off heat. I brewmated I think about like
Mm.
6 hatchlings that I hatched out this year,
Mm.
and they
Yeah,
all
I've
did
never
really good.
brewmated. I never
Yeah,
brewmated a yearling. I like your refrigerator, man. My refrigerator, that's like double the size, if not triple the size of
yeah,
mine. It's
yeah. I got
it's
a
a good
great deal
size.
on it, and I found an offer up. I couldn't pass the deal up, and I thought about the future and the growth of
Yeah,
it
no,
because I
definitely.
have
I
more than
mean,
in the room.
so I have one. Just it's like one single drink one. It's probably like
Hmm.
you don't see on camera, but I'm holding like 3 feet wide or something
Hmm.
like that, or maybe 2.5, something
Hmm.
like that. It's a decent size, but I definitely could, like with some of the colubrids, like the Jani and stuff like that get big, and the bulls that brewmate. I need something bigger, like
Yeah, because
yours.
you need to put like you have to put those in like
Probably
20 quart.
26
Yeah,
quarts.
26 quarts. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Probably
Yeah,
26 quarts, man.
and
So
then
that would be
my
perfect.
fridge, I brewmated in this fridge as well last year, and I'm gonna do the same thing again this year.
Yeah, that's badass.
I mean, incubated in the fridge as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I just
nice,
added heat
dude.
tape in the bottom and stuff like that, and it worked perfect.
Oh, it did. It worked good.
Hmm.
It held from like up at the top all the way down to
Yeah,
the bottom, consistent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It held really good. I think it's just this brand of fridge is a they're like commercial and stuff like that. I think it's just a good insulator,
Yeah, yeah,
so it held
definitely.
pretty well. So
Nice. I
yeah.
thought about just incubating in my room, man. My room's 80 degrees, so
I've
I don't
heard
know.
people do that too. Where like just because you have your room is 80 degrees, you more than enough. It's
Yeah,
perfect
yeah,
temperature. The only thing,
yeah.
um, if you have during the summer, can you keep it at 80 during the summer?
I can. My room pretty much stays 80. Goes from
Nice.
like it'll go from like 78
Yeah.
to 82 at the
Yeah.
highest, but fluctuation. I don't
Yeah.
think fluctuation is bad for the eggs. So
Yeah. Because I
I don't know.
think if I'm not wrong, uh, Jeff Jr. I think incubates in his room, and he just puts it like on the wire. He has like a wire shelf, and he just puts
Yeah,
the egg boxes there, and they incubate room temperature. I don't think he's actually using like a per se
yeah, man.
incubator. So that's pretty cool. I gotta think about that. My issue here, since it's a room in my house, is keeping that 80 all year round.
Yeah, that would be hard for you, man. I think
Yeah.
it's hooked up to the house. It's a room in the
Hmm.
house, so you got to get it cold at night to go to sleep.
Yeah, man.
At least I do,
Especially
man. I freeze it out.
July. June, July.
It's so hot, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So, close. We're gonna close this out. Any last topics or words you want to say before we close it out? Anything that we didn't touch upon that you want to bring up?
I don't think so, man. I think we did a really thorough job, man.
Yeah,
I had a good time, man. We mentioned got some really cool people in the
for sure.
in
For
the
sure.
chat, dude.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So,
had a good time,
yeah,
man. Mentioned a
thank
lot of
you.
shit. If you think, what about you, man? Anything you
Um,
want to close in
no,
on?
man. I, we touched base on a lot of your species, the barons, the rhinos, and all that stuff. Just looking forward to seeing you, breed and hatch a little more barons and stuff like that. Maybe one day I'll get one of those things off for you.
Oh yeah,
um,
definitely, man.
in the
Definitely.
future and stuff like that. But I just want to thank everybody that watched tonight. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe and like button. Go ahead
Yeah,
and
like.
follow Mutant Reptiles. I almost said Mutant Geckos. Mutant Reptiles on all his social media. His Instagram and his Morph Market are linked in the
Yeah,
description.
follow my Morph Market, baby. I need
Yeah,
more people following me.
that's right. Yeah, you get a little more traction and stuff like that. So go check it out. And again, thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you, Kevin, for stopping by and taking your time and
Awesome.
shooting the bull here with us
Awesome.
and talking about it. Like we probably talk about this another hour or two, but we got
I gotta go
stuff
feed,
to do.
baby. I gotta
You
go
got to go
feed.
feed. Yeah, yeah. So I close out my podcast with asking all my guests, if you had the attention of the world for a few minutes, what would your message be?
What would my message be? My message would be, and this is a big message, don't be so critical of people, man. Don't be so judgmental. Like, look at yourself and look, just really take a look at yourself and stop judging other people, because I mean, no one's perfect, and you can only do what you can do. You can't do everything perfect in the world, and just be the best you can be, because you're you and you're beautiful. That's
There we
it.
go. We're gonna close it out with that because there's no better ending like that. Again, thank you everybody for watching tonight. Subscribe, like, and rewatch it here on the playback. We'll see you guys in next was it 23rd of February? Be next podcast. So make sure you guys tune in. Good night. Have a good night, and
Good
we'll
night,
see you guys
everybody.
next one.
Thanks, chat. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Jessica.